Good evening to the Board of Commissioners and to the citizens of Douglas County. Welcome to our Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, 6 p.m. in-person commission meeting is our legislative meeting. So thank you all for being here tonight. Certainly I'll call this meeting to order and I'll start with our roll call. I'll start with District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Present.
District 2 and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Present.
District 3 Commissioner is not with us tonight. District 4 Commissioner Ann Jones-Guider.
Present.
Chairman Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones present. Board of Commissioners, we do have an established quorum tonight. Certainly, Board of Commissioners, tonight with us we have our invocation, and that invocation will be led by Mr. Rick Martin. And after the invocation, Board of Commissioners, I ask that you please remain standing, and our citizens of Douglas County and our directors please remain standing for the pledge of the flag. So if everyone would just stand, and thank you so much, our Communications Director Rick Martin, for leading us in prayer tonight.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Vice Chair, elect commissioners, colleagues, and staff. Thank you. Before we begin, I would like to read a passage from the Bible, Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Let's bow our heads for prayer. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this day as we prepare for next week's Thanksgiving break. There are going to be some in our government who are working, such as our elected officials. I pray that you watch over them, those who are current and those who are newly elected, as they prepare for their new assignment. I pray for our first responders who may be called to some of the most horrific scenes they have ever witnessed. I pray for love and understanding for one another. I pray that we listen and speak from the heart, whether we agree or disagree. As I prepare to close out this prayer, I humbly thank you for all the citizens who came out to the Veterans Day Parade and honored our heroes who sacrificed all they could to protect this country and this county. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, Communications Director Rick Martin, for gracing this county in prayer. And thank you to the citizens of Douglas County. Clerk, do we have anyone sign up for public comment tonight? Clerk Watson?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Okay, no one to sign up. Board of Commissioners, we're going to move right into the approval of the minutes tonight. Board of Commissioners, you have before you the commission meeting minutes of November 1st, 2022, the work session meeting minutes of October 31st, 2022, the budget workshop minutes of November 2nd, 2022, and the executive session minutes of October 31st, 2022, and November 2nd, 2022. Are there any additions or deletions or corrections that need to be made, Board of Commissioners?
No, ma'am.
Being none, the minutes stand approved. Board of Commissioners, we have one proclamation tonight, which is tab number 5, proclaiming the week of November 15th through the 23rd, 2022 as Farm City Week in Douglas County. And we have our Mr. Joey Rainwater and his amazing wife and family and friends here with us tonight too. Certainly y'all can stand together and come to the podium and read the proclamation, Mr. Rainwater. If everyone want to join you and surround you, that's perfect. If not, they can remain seated until we take photographs.
Well, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight to read the proclamation, and I am glad to have some support with me this year.
Absolutely.
So it's always good to have friends and family with you. So, The Farm City Week proclamation reads like this. Whereas American farmers and ranchers literally help feed the world by producing a bounty of agricultural products. To do this, they rely on essential partnerships with urban and suburban communities to supply, sell, and deliver finished products across the country and around the world. Rural and urban communities working together have made the most of our nation's rich agricultural resources as they contribute to the health and well-being of our state, our country, and to the strength of our economy. And whereas during National Farm City Week, we recognize the importance of this cooperative network. Agriculture employs more than 19 million workers, including farmers and ranchers, shippers, processors, marketers, retailers, truck drivers, inspectors, and who annually contribute more than $1 trillion to our gross domestic product. In Georgia, agriculture contributes almost $70 billion annually to the state's economy. 1 in 7 Georgians work in agriculture, forestry, or agriculture-related field. And whereas the agricultural industry provides us with food, clothing, and shelter, as well as fuel for our energy needs. As we welcome new opportunities for trade, the hard work and successful cooperation between farmers and city workers will continue to play a vital role in our state and nation's future. And whereas Farm City collaborations help maintain and improve our food and fiber supply and contribute to a better quality of life for countless citizens. We commend the many Americans whose hard work and ingenuity reflect the true spirit of America and help to ensure a prosperous future for all. And whereas this week, as we gather with family and friends around the Thanksgiving table, it is fitting that we count among our blessings the vital farm-city partnerships that have done so much to improve the quality of our lives. Now, therefore, we do here proclaim November 16th through the 23rd, 2022 as Farm City Week. We call upon our citizens in rural and urban areas to acknowledge and to celebrate the achievements of all those who, working together, produce and supply our community and nation with an abundance of agricultural products. So proclaim this 15th day of November 2022.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rainwater, and thank you for keeping our communities fed. We don't take that lightly, and certainly Board of Commissioners and also our audience, if you could just join me with a round of applause for all the hard work that our farmers do here in the Douglas County. Mr. Rainwater, you said farmers and ranchers help feed the world through partnerships while working together to preserve the health and welfare of our community, and that statement is so true. So thank you for taking the time tonight to come out and just share those comments with the Board of Commissioners and then to bring this proclamation forth. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, Board. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chairman Robinson, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I want to ditto the same comment, the importance of both agriculture overall. 19 million workers, $1 trillion base, and it's that important. And we sometimes marginalize in our narrative the importance of people to perform that role, but that's base nature for humanity. You got to feed. You have to eat. It's got to be quality. And the time they take to grow it and nurture it, and the things that we should do more to support it, especially for local. Farmers are big, giant corporations, but also the local small guys are just as important. So I said all that to say that I miss going out to the courthouse and getting fresh fruit and stuff. And so is that still going to be coming along anytime soon? What do you think, Mr. Rainwater? We think we can still make that happen and get our own here and keep growing it?
Well, I know that it gets hard to supply farmers markets, and we're certainly glad just to make mention of our city and the Cobb Douglas Health that have put on the farmers market up at the fountain, the square there, and so we're glad for that. But it's hard to keep food supplied, to keep those something there for the people to come and to purchase. So, but
Is
it's
it
definitely
more
something.
supply, for you getting it there, or for us make sure that citizens know that you're there? Because again, it's local.
Yes. There's collaboration again between recognizing and getting the word out that the farmers market is there. But then as far as local goes, you've got seasonal fruits and vegetables that grow. And so eventually you have to bring something outside of what somebody would consider in the county,
Yeah.
and statewide and so forth. So that gets to be a challenge in those areas. But
Understood. We believe in small business and small mom and pops and whatever we can do to create an atmosphere to increase probability of success. So we would always want to do that. So I just want to put that out there. Duly noted. Thank you for allowing me to address it. Madam Chair, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam
Any
Chair.
other discussion? Commissioner Guyder, you have the floor.
Yes, I only wish that Director Ron Roberts was here. He's an organic farmer, and he does a beautiful job with his little vegetables. I've had he's brought me some before, so I've reaped. But I just wondered if you wanted to introduce the guests that you have.
I'd
I
be glad to.
recognize
I'd
some
be glad
of them.
to. I was going to ask, but I'm glad that you asked. We have Natalie Murray here with us. She's a teacher at Mirror Lake Elementary School, and she took over their garden program there. She's done an amazing job. You can find her on social media. She's all the time posting things, what's going on at their...
I heard her speak at your picnic that night, I think.
Yeah.
We found her. She was already in action. We found her and got behind her and supported her. She's been named Georgia's Ag in the Classroom Teacher of the Year, and then was one of 9 teachers nationally recognized as Ag Teacher of the Year.
And she was
So,
a new farmer. She wasn't into it until she got involved in her little
right.
garden there.
She was a music teacher.
Music to
I
your
remember
ears.
that about her.
But I have my family with me. This is my lovely wife, Lisa, and my 3 kids, JC, Joseph, and Jenna. And then these are some
Hester.
long-time Douglas County residents and farmers. So both of them grew up right here in the county. And that is Tommy and Laura Hester. So
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
these are just some that are on our board of directors. So our organization is ran from a grassroots level, and all of our board of directors are volunteers. We don't get paid to do what we do, except we do enjoy pretty good food. So I've invited each one of our commissioners to our Thanksgiving luncheon Monday, so you should have a piece of paper up there, invitation for y'all to come by and see
Where will
us.
it be?
At the office.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rainwater. I yield back, Madam.
All right. Thank you so much, Commissioner Guyder. Vice Chairman?
No, I was just curious for the record, do we know, I don't know if Allison is here, how many farms do we have in Douglas County? for
All
the
right,
records?
I come a little prepared this
You know
year
I'm gonna
because
ask
you
for
asked me
data,
last
huh?
year. But again, as I stated last year, the most recent census is 2017.
Okay.
And the data changed from 2012 to 2017. They only do it every 5 years. So 2022, a new census is coming out, but the data won't be released until 2024. But I'm interested to see how it has changed. But in 2017, there was 93 farms registered in Douglas County. Land, the acres that's used for farm use is 7,082. And in 2017, the average size of the farm was 76 acres. Now, I just look that is drastically going to change because everybody says Douglas County is not an agricultural county anymore. I think it still is, it's just changed. The agriculture is different. It's not the large plots of land with cows and horses.
Yes, sir.
It's now more urbanized, raised gardens, like Miss Natalie's teaching over there at Mirror Lake. And you know, so that's, I think it's really going to change in that.
But we're not selling the farmland, are we? We're going to keep it agricultural, right? We're going to maintain.
for
But
a
that's
lo-
important for that character
You
area, not to
better.
lose that.
For a long time,
eat.
a lot of our farmers have sold out to subdivisions and so
Right.
forth and moved out. So
Yes, sir.
I guess y'all have some sway in what y'all approve and things like that. But, I mean, I guess if a farmer wants to sell his land, you know,
Right.
he's got the freedom to sell it, so.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second on the floor. We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your electronic votes. Board of Commissioners, we have a 4 unanimous vote and the motion carries. And congratulations on the proclamation for the Farm City Week here in Douglas County. Is it okay if we come down and take photographs with you?
Absolutely.
All right, we will do. Board of Commissioners?
Madam Chair, do try to separate.
I listen to y'all, and you tell people all the time that you do good stuff.
Bye.
Okay, Board of Commissioners, we'll dive right back into our meeting. We'll start with our new business, Board of Commissioners, which is tab number 6, appointment of Ken Capello to the Animal Control Advisory Board effective immediately. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve this appointment?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your electronic votes. Board of Commissioners, we have a 4 unanimous vote and the motion carries. We're going to move on to tab number 7, reappointment of Maisha Good to the Board of Elections and Registration effective January 1st, 2023. Do we have a motion to approve, Board?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your electronic votes. Board, we have a 4-1 vote. I'm sorry, let me take these glasses. A 3-1 vote, a 3-0 vote, and then 1 abstain. So the motion passes. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to tab number 8, reappointment of Deborah Fagans and Dr. Charles Creighton to the Board of Health and Community Service Board effective January 1, 2023. Do we have a motion to approve this appointment?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second, Board. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your electronic votes. Board of Commissioners, we have a 4-0 vote, and the motion carries 4. Okay, we're going to move on to tab number 9, which is an appointment of Sharon Bachel to the Paratransit Advisory Board effective immediately. Do we have a motion to approve this appointment, Board?
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes. Okay, Board, we have a 3-0 and 1 abstain vote, so the motion carries with the 3 votes. All right, Board, we're going to move on to tab number 10, under business items. Authorization to execute a professional services agreement with Brightwell Talent Solutions to conduct a search to identify a county administrator for Douglas County government for a retainer fee in the amount of $2,500 and 18% of the total base salary, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second, Board? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, Board?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Guider, you have the floor.
Thank you, ma'am. I just think that we could conduct our own interviews and find our own county administrator rather than going out. We've tried going out, and that didn't work out too good. So I think we could do a better job in-house and save the county $30-something thousand. So I yield back.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner. Any other remarks or thoughts, Board? Okay,
I do have one.
okay.
Just one.
Commissioner Mitchell, you
Ms.
have the
Carter.
floor.
Good evening, first of all. Now, quick question. So I think we've had a conversation about this particular layout. Can you kind of, in a little bit more detail, so the general public can understand kind of what you're doing, and I guess we understand why we're doing it, but what you're doing, and then I got one follow-up after that, though.
Okay. What we're doing is proposing that we go into contract with a company that can help us select more candidates. We will continue our internal search, and if we actually select a candidate internally, then we will not owe them the additional funds. We only would owe them the retainer. But if we do find a candidate through their firm, then we would then pay them 18% of that full salary.
And approving this doesn't mean, because there's a couple of us that are interviewing a couple of candidates that's kind of brewing around.
Right.
Does that harm that process? It only gives you a chance, if by chance that either of these two don't make the cut for whatever reason, that you'll be able to just move forward with this particular project. Is that kind of where you're going with this?
Yes, absolutely. So the 2 candidates that we are interviewing will continue through the interview process. And if we select one of those, then we don't owe any additional funds to this company. But if we don't select one of those, then this process would have started. They would have started to send us candidates, and then we would be able to start sourcing those candidates as well.
At what point will we know if we are going to move forward with either of the two?
We
I
have.
mean, I know you probably don't know the answer because it's probably up to this board. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to make sure that we don't put the cart before the horse, meaning I understand this process, but I'm a little skittish about trying to pull it
The
off.
timing.
Yes, because I understand you need the timing to go ahead and keep it moving. Because if if they don't work, then you can at least move forward with this particular project. But if it does work, then this project will go, this particular request will go nowhere, correct?
Yes, we actually have interviews scheduled for tomorrow. And I believe after that, all of the commissioners would have met with both candidates, and then we would probably be in a better position to make a decision on those two candidates.
Got it. Okay. And see, that's my hesitance with this. And I think we've had this conversation. I understand kind of why, but I'm more concerned of, putting the cart before the horse. However, I don't want to waste too much more time because we've been without a county manager for an extremely long time now, and I think your job is to try to keep us moving along, and job well done. But again, thank you for explaining and expressing.
Yes,
I'll leave
sir.
it there. Madam Chair, I'll yield. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner
Madam
Mitchell.
Chair.
Commissioner Guyder, you have the floor.
While you're at the podium, Director Carter, if, say we don't select from the two that we're already interviewing, and we give this company a retainer, but then we find somebody in the meantime, do we get our retainer back?
We do not get our retainer back, but we can then start working with them for an additional candidate or additional position if we so choose. So we actually do have other openings at the executive level, and we could use them for that for that position if we wanted to.
Okay,
But we would not get a refund.
have you thought about putting this off until at least these two candidates that we're interviewing now, when we've given them a chance?
If you all would like to put it off, we can do that.
Well, we were scheduled to interview them today. Me and the chairman, we were going to interview one of the candidates today. I've already interviewed the other person, and so it got moved for some reason. So anyway, I just wondered if we got our retainer back if we ended up finding our own candidate.
We would not get our retainer back, but we would not have to pay them the additional funds, and we would be able to use them for a different position if we so choose.
I know we've gone, a year now without one, but then the structure of the in-house personnel and directorships and things like that has filled a lot of vacancies or taken on some of the duties that maybe the county administrator normally has. And so we fared fairly well, but so what's the hurry? But I would like to just see us do our own shopping, okay?
Okay.
But anyway, I yield back.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Guyder. Vice Chairman Robinson, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Selecting personnel is key. There's times where you go through transitions, whether it's through retirements, seasoning, different directions. Especially at this level, there's like CEOs of major companies, et cetera. You have to be thoughtful. Finding the right person to run a $100 million operation is just not, you put a post out there. Right, this is bigger than that. We've done that. We put it in all the different, my understanding, we put them on at all the various places that a person may look, but the reason you use a headhunter, because most of my jobs I've gotten, I've always been headhunted. The point is because when you're not looking for a job, you don't see the post. You're not looking for it. You're not looking at the magazines. If you ain't looking for that, so a headhunter goes in there and they're like, okay, they're strategic, they're intentional. That's the purpose of this. It's just not, I mean, it's no different than having a grant writer. We spend money on grant writers all day long and don't get anything, before we got Jill, of course. And no slight, but y'all got my point. I've got too much history with that. Right? So you bring somebody in that's seasoned to do certain things to move the agenda along. But I get it, so we can make this simple. You can make it contingent upon the outcome of what's in place. Just make it contingent. Call the vote, make it contingent based upon what's currently here. I mean, if you get the candidates and the board wants to move to the next level, then great, you got somebody. But you can pause. But here's the challenge, is that it takes time. It's about process. We've got this operation. We've got a new SPOS. You're running 2 SPOS at the same time. You got a lot of new directors. You got a lot going on right now. This thing is growing. This county is about, things are waking back up while they're trying to slow down. We've got there's a lot that's going on. And you know, so we need somebody at the center of this to help. Our board is in transition, right? So we need some seasoning here. So we know why we need to do this. I think Director Carter is just simply looking for, look, I'm here to do what the board wants me to do. But we need to empower her to be savvy to keep it moving. But I'm open to the board. So, Madam Chair, I've made my statement, and I'll yield back.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chairman. Any other remarks, board? Okay. We have a motion and a second on the floor, board. Certainly, we've had some discussion. Motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your electronic votes. And I heard, did you want to add something to this, Vice Chair? You said it's contingent upon, I heard something.
Ma'am, I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
Madam Chair, speaking
You can't hear me, I'm
you got to
sorry.
speak into this.
Okay, I apologize.
I hear you, but they can't.
Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second on the floor, but the Vice Chair did add something to this motion, and I heard he wanted to add contingent upon us receiving. If you just make a statement, restate what you said, contingent
Thank you.
upon.
Board of Commissioners, I make a sub-motion to add a contingency if, in fact, we don't move forward, only to engage this firm if, in fact, we don't take advantage of the current candidates. I give it 2 weeks.
Okay. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay. Board, we have a
That's a
motion
motion.
and a second on the floor. Please prepare to cast your vote.
The amendment has
Okay,
to be
with the
voted
amendment.
on.
Okay, Board of Commissioners, you heard the amendment. Do we have a motion?
You just made a motion.
Okay, do we have a second? We have a second? Second. Board, we have a motion and a second. Please, when I call your name, raise your hand if you're in favor of this amendment. District 1,
No.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3 is not here, District 4,
No.
Chairman, yes, 2, so that means
fails.
it fails for a lack of a motion. All right, we'll go back to the original. All right, we'll go back to 10. Again, we'll start with our original motion. We had a motion and a second on the floor. Please prepare to cast your votes accordingly. Board.
Him come up.
Okay, the motion failed for a
Wait a
lack
minute,
of...
mine didn't come up.
It's up there.
I didn't vote on it.
Did you-
Well, I voted before the amendment, and then the screen went away.
She voted on the sub.
You voted on the sub, I needed us to raise our hand on the sub. So do you?
No, I voted on it, and then you said that he had an amendment to it.
Mhm.
And then my screen went away.
Oh, okay, so do we need to re-vote, or are you comfortable with, what did the commissioner?
Well, I didn't see it.
She said you had, no. You want to, can we make sure?
Well, that's the way I would vote, so I'll leave it like that.
It was no.
Okay.
So the motion fails for lack of a majority, board, so therefore, we're going to move on to tab number 11. So it failed. Tab number 11 is approval of the amendment to the Procurement Policy and Procedures Manual as part of the 2022 Optimization Act pending final legal review. Do we have a motion to approve, Board?
Madam Chair, for the next four policies, I say we table them until we have a full house.
Okay.
All politics aside, we always need to have a full house when we vote on major ordinances and policies. And I think it's important that everybody's in the room, and everybody gets to take a position. So these are very important policies. These next four, we've done a lot of good work on them. But I'd like to have a chance for Commissioner Carson to be present to ensure that District 3's voice is mentioned. So if nobody has any problems, I'd like to table the next four items until we can come back later. And we have
Okay.
a full house.
I second.
Okay.
All right.
We do have a motion to, on the floor to table tab number 11, 12, 13, and 14. We'll just put them all, package these together. We have a second from Commissioner Mitchell. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second on the floor to table all
Madam
of
Chair, I'd
these
like to make the
policies
motion to table them until the very next meeting.
to the next meeting, okay?
I'll second that.
You okay with that?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second on the floor, Board. When I call you districts, please respond accordingly. District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3 is not here. District 4,
Yes.
Chairman, yes. We have a 4 unanimous vote to table these policies into our next meeting, and the motion carries. Board of Commissioners, we're going to move right to our consent agenda. The consent agenda, please keep in mind, all items are subject to final legal review, and this consent agenda tonight will be read by our Deputy Clerk Mathis tonight, and then once she finishes reading, I'll call the motion. Should I say, I'll call the question. Clerk Mathis, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Number 15, authorization to accept a grant in the amount of $448,320 with a 6% in-kind match from the Atlanta Regional Commission that will be used to provide kinship, education, and groups, reduce the home-delivered meal wait list, establish a homemaker voucher program, provide funds for assistive technology, and initiate a pilot congregate meal program in zip code 30180, amend the budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 16, authorization for the Douglas County Sheriff's Office to accept the fiscal year 2021 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program in the amount of $68,031, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 17, authorization to file a grant application for a Transportation Planning Smart Technology Grant in the amount of $600,000 from the U.S. DOT through the Infrastructure Investment and Job Act federal program with no local match for a needs assessment and development of a future implementation plan for traffic signal control and traffic control center technology enhancements to facilitate signal coordination, signal to vehicle and vehicle to vehicle communication, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Number 18, approve funding for voucher program for $180,800 with the Atlanta Regional Commission to pay $169,952 and Douglas to provide the match of $10,848 for use with existing voucher program, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 19, authorization to approve the annual contract with Judicial Alternatives of Georgia, Inc. for misdemeanor probation services for state court, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 20, authorization to approve the annual contract with Judicial Alternatives of Georgia, Inc. for misdemeanor probation services for Superior Court, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 21, authorize the chairman to execute a part-time employee agreement with Essence Nelson as legal assistant in the Traffic Unit Division of the Solicitor's Office pending final legal review. Number 22, authorize the chairman to execute a full-time employment agreement with Alexandria White as a legal staff assistant in the Public Defender's Office with no impact to the budget being funded by ARPA pending final legal review. Number 23, authorization to accept funds from the State Court Technology Fund in the amount of $830.24 for 2 printers for the clerks in the state court courtrooms. Number 24, authorization for approval of use of Douglas County property as proposed by option B to be utilized by Daily Bread Ministries and use of ARPA funds up to $50,000 to cover the cost of necessities caused by relocation, and for the chairman to sign all related documents. Number 25, approval of the resurfacing list of roads for submittal to GDOT for the fiscal year 2023 LMIG grant program, allocating $500,000 for the project from the general fund or reimbursable through a future SPLOST, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Number 26, approval of a 3-year Title VI plan and resolution adopting the plan for submittal to GDOT that is required for the local acceptance program recertification for the county to continue to be eligible to administer transportation projects with federal funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Number 27, authorization to execute a professional services agreement with MSI Benefit Group, Inc. to render certain employee benefits, insurance brokerage services, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 28, authorization to amend the Douglas County open pay range and Douglas County pay scale for employees working 56 hours to reflect the minimum pay and amend salaries to address compression, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Number 29, approval of the Douglas County purchase order standard terms and conditions pending final legal review. Number 30, approval of risk manager severance pending final legal review.
Thank you so much, Clerk Mathis. Board of Commissioners, that concludes our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Board?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, Vice Chairman Robinson, you have the floor.
All right, I've just got 2 sections I want to address, number 17 and 25. Can I have Deputy Director Rana and Director Miguel Valentin come on down? Come on down, gentlemen. I'd like Deputy Director Rana to just briefly talk about the grant application that we discussed in the work session and what we reemphasized today during our Transportation Committee, just for the public record. No formal presentation, but just speak to the highlights, please.
Yeah, sure. So we have identified this grant opportunity called SMART that stands for Strengthening Mobility and Revolutionizing Transportation. This grant opportunity is conducted in 2 stages. We're currently pursuing stage 1, which is the planning and feasibility stage. What this will do is help us focus on few selected technology areas and help us improve our traffic signals and redevelop the traffic control center, which currently needs a lot of improvements. For that purposes, we've put together the application that has to go in by the end of this week. Once that's through, we will conduct stage 1 within 9 months of the notice to proceed from USDOT. After that, we will be getting ready for stage 2 application process, which may start by November next year, and we'll take the construction stage from there.
Thank you. So that's just for planning. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
It's planning. And so we, as you guys know, we did a comprehensive transportation plan last year. They ended sometime last year, or somehow it came online. We had a subcomponent of that dealt with transit, but as Director Valentin and his leadership shared with us, it didn't go deep. It was just a marker. Now we've got this formality that's coming forth. We know we got Director Ron Roberts. If he was here, he could speak to it as well. We've got several things that's dealing with transportation that is important, that's finally going to move us forward. We've had things like, I want to say, technology services, that we have cameras on the highways and stuff, but that's not what was promised. That wasn't a real dream. It was a foundation. All that equipment and stuff pretty much has aged out. It didn't realize what it needed to. Now we're getting into G5 and all this fiber and stuff, and we recognize we've got to go to a whole nother level to realize the future of mobility and how to support how things move, how to synchronize the lights. Every year we have to synchronize lights for the holidays. Really? 18 lights. You know how many lights are in this county? How do you move them, and how do you deal with public safety officers and stuff, and ensure things that are safely and really moving? So if my understanding is right, Ronna, Director Ronna, this will allow us to begin to have that foundation, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. We, county currently operates more than 72 traffic signals. This technology will, or stage one, the planning phase will study each and every signal and develop a way on how we can coordinate each one of those and remotely adjust to varying traffic conditions through a robust traffic control center.
We recognize our neighbors to the north already has something like this, Cobb County?
Yes, sir. Neighboring agencies such as Cobb DOT and the state itself, GDOT, has developed a robust traffic control center. GDOT has also developed V2X capabilities recently through their signals. So yes, these technologies are currently being evaluated and for the most part being deployed by the neighboring agencies.
Thank you for that. That's enough on that. Thank you for the comment. Director Valentine, I'm going to shift. Let's talk about LMIG for the record.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Yes, the LMIG program through the Georgia Department of Transportation generally assigns a grant amount based on a formula. And this year, we received a grant of approximately $1.4 million. On prior years, we would take that grant and, together with the SPLOS funding, would produce a list of roads that would generally go anywhere between 20 and 25 miles annually. Unfortunately, the SPLOS funding was allocated from 2023, what had been allocated to 2023, was moved forward, was utilized for the contract in 2022, and so the current LMIG fund is all we have at this time to be able to do resurfacing. There is a 30% local match required, and so we need approximately about $500,000 in local match to the $1.4 million, and we will have a contract that will account for about 5.5 miles of roads.
5.5 miles, which is about a mile or so per commission district. Thank you for that. I just wanted to drive home this particular point. First, I want to thank the citizens of Douglas County. The majority spoke that you awarded us another SPLOST. I trust that the 2016 SPLOST has been successful in your eyes, and the voice has spoken. And so we're looking forward to re-engaging again and extending this. I think the citizens realized that they got to experience their tax dollars. It was important. And we had a lot of work to do. A lot of roads had aged out. Old communities. Well, we got 964 subdivisions. I got 3 in my subdivision alone resurfaced this round. We got about 250 subdivisions each, and primarily y'all focus on main arteries. We know the total need in transportation in our county is what, $773 million? All you had was $51 million last time, and you may get, what, about 30 this time?
That's correct.
Pay attention. But the board made this decision. And we had to recognize that while we had other funding mechanisms to take care of transportation, you also have essential services that you have to provide. Public safety, which is the #1 priority, as said by the county citizens. That's important. So if our first SPLOS passed, when I came aboard in 2009, it passed by what? 28 votes. The SPLOS that we're currently in, that currently is coming down, passed by what? 16 votes. This SPLOS passed by 4,000. That's material. And what I'm trying to help people understand is priorities. that this bus that we just completed was pretty balanced, but it left the sheriff out. The first bus I came into, it was only about the sheriff, and nobody got nothing. Now we got an appetite knowing we got to go fix these roads and stuff. So you got the sheriff, you got fire, and you got transportation. And you're trying to put them all in the same funding mechanism. Well, thank goodness for you that you actually passed the SPOS. At least it takes pressure off the property taxes. It takes pressure off trying to do it in our checking account. I just wanted to drive home that point, which is to my last point, Miguel, which is thank you for that, because these are just statements, they're not decisions. Last thing is, we also have to rely on, in addition to property taxes, we have to rely on sales taxes, whether it's SPOS or local option sales tax. We have grants. Miguel, can you give the highlight of what was mentioned today regarding our TIP, the #1 projects that we sent to Congress, as well as to the state, what our current status is, in your own words? We'll keep it short, and that'll be it.
Yes, I'd be happy to. About this time last year, we filed application for federal funding on all of our TIP projects, Transportation Improvement Program, with the Atlanta Regional Commission, through the DOT, Georgia DOT, and the federal government. We are now, have gotten word from the Atlanta Regional Commission that the county is in line to receive $13.3 million for 3 of our 4 TIP projects. It's a little over $4 million per project, more or less. And the process has taken almost a year to get us to this point. We got a little longer to go before it's fully finalized, but I anticipate that it will within the next month or so. And when that occurs, then we'll be able to tap into those funds to keep our projects moving forward. So about $13.3 million. It's quite a big allocation of funding for the county, and it gives us the ability to move our TIP projects, which are the priority projects that the board had identified many years ago. And it's taken a while, but we continue to make progress.
Okay, what were the top 3 TIP projects that we had on the list? I know it was a big list per se that was split. We cut it up in phases, but can you speak to maybe the top 3?
Yeah, the Lee Road Phase 1 project that goes from I-20 to US 78 Veterans Memorial Highway, that received about close to $4.5 million in funding for the right-of-way phase. Then the trail project, Chattahoochee Hills Country Trail project that goes from Boundary Waters to Sweetwater Creek State Park by way of Rock House Road, 11 miles of trail. That project also received about a little over $4 million. And the third project is what used to be referred to as the Chapel Hill DDI. It is now a area improvement program that includes several intersection upgrades and a little bit of widening in that area. That project goes from essentially Elizabeth Street or Hospital Drive south on Chapel Hill across the bridge to just the entrance to the mall, the second entrance to the mall. And that is close to about an $8 million project. We also received $4.5 million for that project.
Thank you, Director Valentine. That's enough time. I've taken sufficient time for my time for my peers. Thank you for both of that. Madam Chair, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Guider, you have the floor.
Thank you. I wanted to grab him before he sat down. 1.5 miles per district this year. Coming up. However, since the SPLOST did pass, additional miles will most likely be added to each district, because we normally have around 7 miles per district.
That certainly is a possibility. That is a board decision to be made, how to prioritize the funding that is going to be made available for transportation. But certainly if it was the will of the board to continue to move a more robust resurfacing program, 3 million a year has been customarily what was allocated. in the current SPLOST, that the board can decide to do that. And if that is the case, certainly there would be the ability to have a second contract next year with additional resurfacing.
We had a citizens committee that took the 2016 splosh and set priorities. We're not going by that procedure this year with the new one. And percentages for the transportation was reduced almost in half. But it went, a lot of it did go to public safety, which is good. Some of it went to, additional funds went to the library in District 3 for like 12, 13 million now. But anyway, I wanted the citizens to know that hopefully we'll do more than 1.5 miles per district. That does maybe a subdivision, or maybe a large subdivision, but for instance, in District 4, Post Road is 7 miles long. It'd take me 7 years or 5 years to pave it at this rate. So hopefully the board, I won't be here, but my predecessor will be here, and he hopefully will have additional miles added to each district, because we can't, we're backing up if we're just paving 1.5 miles a year. And so you and I talked today, and so hopefully we can get additional funding. And when we use the splosh, then we don't have to use, we combine it with the LMIG. We just supplement the LMIG. We pay the match with the splosh rather than paying it all out of the. So hopefully we can do better than just 1.5 miles. It really bites into our progress as a county. You can't get to the stores and the mall and places like that if you don't have good roads, or if you're going to tear up your vehicle getting there. So, and the intersections of there's so many intersections. Especially, I don't know about the other districts, but in my district there's several intersections that the traffic just has to stop if somebody's turning left. And to have that through lane to keep the traffic moving so you don't back up, is so important. And there's a lot of dangerous intersections because of the angle at which the roads come out on a main road like a Highway 5, like Berea Road. I remember we had the state DOT people out here to look at Berea Road back in the previous administration. That's how long it takes anything to get done, especially when you have the layered authorities, the governments, the state, and then the local. But anyway, I just wanted to let people have a little hope that maybe we'll do more than just 1.5 miles per district this year, next year. So thank you. I appreciate you meeting with me this afternoon. We clarified a lot of things, and so I'm pleased that we're going forward with what we do have. But we took the funds out of this year, next year, to finish the paving in 2022.
That is correct.
So maybe by spring of next year, we'll have some more funds in there. So with that, I yield back. I would like to speak to, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. You're new, or fairly new, as far as I'm concerned. I haven't dealt with you that often. Your name, pronounce your last name, please.
Commissioner, my name is Suleiman Rana. Rana is the
Right.
last name. Yes, Rana, R-A-N.
All right, Deputy Director. These smart signals, will that allow emergency vehicles to change the signal when they're going to an emergency?
Yes, Commissioner. So that's one of the major components that will be covered under this grant. It will have something called V2X capabilities that allows the emergency vehicle and the signal to communicate. It can not only preempt, which is to force a green light or extend a green light for an emergency vehicle, but also communicate with the emergency vehicle whether the conditions are suitable for their approach or not in a timely manner that they can reroute if needed.
So it would result in a safety issue. We would be able to, the public safety people can get to an incident faster, maybe.
Yes, that's the purpose.
Response time is what
Yes.
I'm groping for here, would be faster. So that's good. And how much was the grant?
We've requested $600,000 with no local match.
Okay. We like the no local match. Thank you so much. All right, I just wanted to ask that one question because I thought it did, but I wasn't sure. So thank you for answering that. Now you're back.
Thank you. The floor has been yielded to the Vice Chair. Commissioner Mitchell?
Thank you, Vice Chairman.
Yes, sir, you have the floor.
All right. Well, first of all, welcome. And I don't have any questions for you. I would like to get Mr. McGill to come back up, Director McGill to come back up just for a second. And welcome aboard, though. Welcome aboard. Now, I know you would like for us to do more than just 1.5 miles. If you had your way, you would do 10 miles per district. But based on the funding, based on what you have and the means of financing that, that's where the problem lies.
Correct.
Am I correct? So with that, if this board really wants to do more than just that type of mileage, we've had opportunities where we were able to do that, but inflation has changed the numbers even in that vein. So it's not you, and it's not your directions. It's just basically with inflation and the amount of funding source that you have. But if this board would like to do more, it's just provide the funding, and I think you guys would be more than willing to hit the ground running, correct?
Absolutely. You give us the money, we'll spend it wisely.
Right. I just didn't want to give a false narrative that it's not what you guys are wanting to do. It's what you're being provided, meaning from dollars and cents, inflation and everything else kind of comes together to say these are the miles that you can kind of move this project or move the road projects, period. So, and again, Miguel, I know this is early, but thank you for your service and all that you've done. You and I have had a long, nice conversation about all that you've done, and you're going to be missed. You've got some big shoes to fill, but create your own. But you've done an excellent job at what we've had here in the county for the years of service that you've done. So thank you in advance of what you've done. But I just want to kind of make that statement known. That's all. I just wanted you to kind of, speak to that, because at the end of the day, if we could have actually, did more miles, which we've done in the past, but inflation wasn't where it is today.
That's correct.
And the situation of dollars and cents wasn't where it is today. So thank you again. Job well done. And with that being said, as you go to your seat, I'll ask Ms. Gilchrist if she'll come forth. I just want to hear from her about some things on a couple of projects we've got here on the consent agenda. Item number 15, and I think it's 18. And after that, James, if you'll come up, if you would, James, while we're kind of doing this. Okay. First of all, welcome and good evening to you.
Hello.
Talk about this item number 15 and this 6% in-kind match and all this ARC dollars that you're going to be dealing with in zip code 30180.
Yes, absolutely. Good evening. So,
Good evening.
Commissioner.
And you got to smile while you're doing this, okay? No, just kidding.
Well, Commissioner Mitchell, thanks so much. I honestly just stand here before you excited and pleased to bring this to you. The Atlanta Regional Commission, they put out a notice of funding availability, and so seeing that we realize that our older adults in Douglas County, that there is a void and there's a need. And one of the major things that they offered with this program was a kinship program. And Douglas County Senior Services, we currently do not offer that services. And so I felt that this would be an amazing opportunity to apply for this grant. And as such, we were awarded the grant to begin this kinship care because we know that there are a lot of grand families in the county, and they need resources. And as Senior Services, I felt that we should be the vehicle to help them achieve their needs and to meet their needs caring for their grandchildren, because that is a heavy charge on our grandparents. And so that's one of the items that the grant will afford us the opportunity to provide. And I've been in contact with several of the middle schools and the elementary schools in the county, and we were just waiting to receive our actual contract from the Atlanta Regional Commission to put this into play. The other thing that it will assist us with, we have a very large wait list. Our services, in Senior Services, we are here to try to assist our older adults with maintaining their independence for as long as possible in the environment of their choice. And so in order for us to do that, we know that there are some things that
So
they
you
need.
moved on to the voucher program, correct? That's
Yeah.
where you are now? Okay.
Yes,
Just want to
sir.
make sure everybody keeping up with this, because
Yes,
you're
sir.
now we're just moving right along. Go right
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so with that, we have our wait list for our home delivered meals. And as I stated on yesterday, we have 166 older adults on that list. And because there is really no movement from the list, from our current service, and Douglas County is only one of 2 counties that serve a hot meal. We do not order frozen meals. We actually serve a hot meal to our seniors 5 days a week. And so the demand is high. Again, and we have 166 individuals on that list. And so in order to help us to move individuals off of that list and to provide those services, again, this grant will provide that opportunity with the funding for us to do that, to try to decrease our wait list.
Got it. Good stuff. So, and going down to the voucher program,
Yes.
that particular program, how many people will come off the list that we're adding money to the list in the voucher program? How many are left, I guess, that we're trying to, because I'm trying to make sure we kind of get our arms around all of our seniors.
Right.
And I know that that's always going to be a tough task in doing that, but how do we get our arms around all of them? So how many more are we missing even in this vein?
Currently, we have 76 individuals on our homemaker wait list. And our homemaker services, we actually meet the seniors at their home. We provide light housekeeping services, also transportation and assistance with grocery shopping and pharmacy pickup. And so this is, again, a very vital service, very important service to those that we serve, and it is in high demand. And so this grant, we saw that this grant opened the door for us to create what they refer to as a voucher program. And so instead of us having to have staff to complete the task, anyone that's on the program or in the program, they're able to find a service of their own who will agree to complete the service, and then they will be reimbursed via this grant. So that's what the homemaker voucher program is.
And that 10,008, my math serves me correct, is worthy enough for the voucher program. So, job well done. I just wanted the general public just to hear not only your heart, but your due diligence in serving our seniors. And as we stated the other day, you came in a few years ago, and you're serious. You've already worked in it. Don't get it twisted. But you came here and you've made a difference for our seniors. And so I want to just say kudos to you and to your staff. Make sure they know that you guys are doing an excellent job and building up our seniors keeping them mobile, keeping them engaged. We've got a senior citizen center being looked at out west. So you guys got a lot that's coming online, and your challenges are great, but we appreciate all that you do. Thank you again, and I just wanted the citizens of Douglas County just to hear more about these two programs that's going on and how beneficial it's going to be for our seniors. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay, my last item, Madam Chair, is James, item number 24.
Thank you, Mr. Melcher. Just for protocol, Madam Chair, the floor has been yielded back to you.
Say that again now? Oh. The approval of the item B of the daily, yes, can we speak to that? I'm sorry,
Sure.
if you would, please.
So yes, it was option B that was discussed yesterday is what we've put on here. I believe that was the direction we were all in agreement with. So, but option B is basically to locate the coroner's facility on the parcel that is currently being utilized by the homeless camp. And then we would relocate the homeless camp across the street onto county parcel, other county-owned property. We would definitely keep them out of the floodplain. What we have included in there is to take care of some of the necessities and to cover those costs out of ARPA funds. Those necessities would be water spigot and tap fees, power pole, a driveway inside the property, with the intention of getting the camp kind of located about 100 feet from any property line to
Right.
give them some privacy and still be able to accommodate all their needs.
And thank you again for doing that, and thank you for at least, going with a higher number.
Yeah.
And I've actually started already reaching out to the community because I think there is some community help or engagement that I feel confident that we will be a part of, as we've done in the past. So this is going to be very sensitive, and we're going to understand that these are individuals too, and we want to make sure that they're well taken care of. And I'm glad that this board, took ownership and at least put the dollars where it's needed to provide just a small amount of service. That's just a drop in the bucket as to what we should be doing. So thank you again, and thank you for a job well done. And I think this is going to be a great project. When do we get started on this? After this pass, what are the next steps?
So the next step is to get official funding from Jill, who has warned me not to spend anything until she's got it approved. So as soon as the approval's done on the funding, the first steps is going to be the driveway and the water tap, kind of getting that set up. We'll have to get all of that in place before we can actually start any physical relocation. So we'll need to kind of get the infrastructure and the site kind of set up and settled, and then we'll start the relocation.
And you did lean on Madam Chair, though, did you not? I know she don't. She said he keeps calling. Right? Okay. All right.
I've had a number of folks reach out, have been encouraging, that were willing to participate.
Absolutely.
And I have reached out to several myself and told them they were going to participate. So we're
Voluntold.
We're going to do our best at
We're
trying to
gonna do
make
our
sure
part,
that.
absolutely.
But I think this funding we got thus far is definitely a big, huge step in the right direction of getting this done. And just so the general public will understand that we're not putting these families or these individuals, into a floodplain or nowhere close. But I don't want them to get the perception, the general public, that that's what we're doing because we're moving them to the other side. It was just that the build-out made more sense to put the coroner's office on their side, basically.
correct. The topography, it's sloping. It's not an extreme sloping topography, but when you're talking about trying to pad out an area that's level large enough for a county building, that becomes an issue. Where if you're just doing small pads, where they're doing kind of campsites, where they're like maybe 10, 15 foot square. We're looking to try to do a level acre or 2 acres. So it's a significant change in grading between those two scenarios. So it works fine. I did talk to Ms. Leela Myers after the meeting yesterday. She was ecstatic and very gracious, thankful of the board and for the cooperation. So
Well, thank you. Again, thank you again, James. Thank you for the insight.
Sure.
And I think we should be able to move this project forward, and job well done. And
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I yield.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Director Worthington, if you would just remain standing and
No,
leave. Oh, you wanted someone else? Okay. Okay, thank you, Director. Commissioner Guider, you have the floor.
Thank you. Director Carter, if you will come up, and let's talk about item number 28 and what it does for our employees.
Item number 28, I'm so excited about item number 28.
Speak up.
I'm so
please.
excited about item number 28.
Me too.
So earlier this year, there was a change in the minimum salary for our open pay scale as well as our 56-hour employee. We brought that up to $15. At that time, we did not adjust the pay scale. And so this recommendation is that the pay scale be adjusted to reflect the $15 minimum. And when we also, when we made that adjustment, we caused some compression because we had people that were already making 15 or slightly above 15, and then we had others who may have come in brand new making 15 as well. And so the compression has caused several employees to reach out to our office, rightfully so, concerned that they are not receiving a fair wage. And so this will address that compression as well as update the pay scale.
It will pick up the morale.
Absolutely.
too. So I'm pleased that we were able to find the funds from one savings to pay for this. So it's effective, when is it going to be effective? This year, right?
Yes. In December, we're going to try to implement this so that this will go into effect before the increases that are projected to happen in January.
All right. All right, I just wanted to have you explain it so that some of the employees that was affected by that minimum wage being raised, that they'll be looking forward to receiving some kind of adjustment for
Absolutely.
their tenure. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll yield back.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Guider. Vice Chairman, you have the
Yeah,
floor.
stay there, Director Carter. I yielded because I had took enough time, but Madam Guider brings up a good point. This is important. Think about the two topics we just talked about. The agenda shifted, so it shifted in a different direction. But two things: transportation expensive, employees expensive. For a generation, we haven't maintained our roads, nor did we maintain our people. Let's keep this real. We didn't. Last year, I appreciate the Reform Act that we passed last year, that we raised minimum wage in this county across the board in ordinance. I think it went unanimously. That's important. We knew what we were doing. Yes, we caused compression because you can't eat it all at once. You can't make up 30 years of not giving people raises. Keep it real, right? I mean, we buy shiny objects, but you got to take care of the people who actually do the work. I share this with you to say that we're looking for you to carry us forward. You're at a perfect time. Technology, people, money, you got the support of the board. Put the right things in place. You got to develop talent. It's not that we just shirked in here and sneaked this week. Like, no, we knew what we were doing. You could not eat. We could not make up that. Yeah, I'm sure citizens about our employees, I get it. But we would embrace this wholeheartedly, like, all right, we'll fix it. Right? We owned it. Straight out said, let's make a hard decision and let's begin to take care of the people. So you got to move it up. Eat a little bit, eat a little bit, a little bit. You can't make up a generation no more. I can make up them roads, to Commissioner Mitchell's point. You can't make that up. Right? So we take it one day at a time, one decision at a time, 1 year at a time. But I want the citizens to know that we do care about this administration is by our fruit. Not our words, our actions speak for it. When you drive by them roads and you see that we're addressing it, that's why you pass this. That's why this is happening with the employees. Like, no, we see it. This is next stage, and yes, we're doing it in this budget, which means the 10% to the fire and all those guys, the public safety, kicks in this year. They get another 5% next year. Now we're about to adjust this now, and then y'all gonna put the 5% on top of this. Get the math right. If y'all vote on this, that means you're doing it right now, which means the budget that my CFO, like, you make sure you adjust this now. We're making a decision right now. So we need to say it, guys. It's okay. We're sharing that the employees are a party. It ain't about buildings and shiny objects, though that's important. You need to be known and celebrated as well. So I had to say that. Like, no, we stepping right into this boldly. We knew what we were doing. We're intentional and we're deliberate, and we do care. So I just had to say that, Madam Chair. I yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Okay, Commissioner Mitchell.
and I'll be done. Job well done. I know we've had this conversation once or twice about this 15 minimum that we came up with, which is great. I think it should be even more than that. I'm glad that we realized that there were some that were compressed in this whole makeup and wasn't fairly treated, and they didn't get their fair share. Who now, in this vein that you've come up with and laid it out, which I think is perfect, who gets affected? Those that have come in at 15 gets an additional, or those that are that's already in are being affected at this juncture on this item here, though? Help me so I can get that part wrapped around my.
It's approximately 795 employees that will be affected. So some employees that were recently hired will get an increase, and the reason for that is because we're adjusting pay scales. And so they will have to be brought to the minimum of the new pay scale. The second thing is the compression. So they, while they won't receive a compression increase, they may receive an increase due to the adjusted pay scales.
Understood. And you've got it all laid out, structured to where it now truly makes sense. Because when we did it before, it was just plop, 15, everybody get it. Those that are here just happen to make another 15 cents to get to 15, and they should be happy.
Yes.
Wrong. So with that though, but yes, I'm so glad that we got to this point. And I knew we would eventually get there. And I'm glad that we're here now and making that adjustment. And the good part about it is we've got funding, a funding source with our procurement and finance directors, and all these guys have found somewhere we can kind of, manipulate or adjust or massage the budget to where it fits and it will work. And yes, it still cost us. It cost us, but at the end of the day, it's worth it for the employees of Douglas County. So job well done, and I'm just proud that you're moving us forward. So thank you very, very much. Thank you again. And Madam Chair, I yield.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Certainly, Board, on a personal note, this administration certainly will be remembered. We won't be remembered for what we said, but we definitely will be remembered for what we've done. Our body of work is irrefutable. So I thank you all on a personal note. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second on the floor. We have a motion and a second for the consent agenda approval. Please proceed accordingly
Madam
with your
Chair,
votes.
I wanted to clarify one thing with respect to item 24, the use of Douglas County properties. I wanted to clarify that use is not a free use, so it's therefore not a gratuity, but it is being done because of a service being performed on behalf of the county. I just want to clarify that for the public's sake.
Okay. Clerk
Okay.
Watson, will you please make a note of that for the record? Thank you
And
so
also in
much.
item 30, the word agreement should be after the word severance.
Severance agreement.
Should be severance agreement.
Okay.
Thank you.
Clerk, will you make a note of that as well? Thank you, Clerk Watson. All right, Board of Commissioners, prepare to cast your votes for the consent agenda. Clerk, if you could come down. You got it? Okay, he has it. Okay. Board of Commissioners, we have a 4-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. So we're going to move on, well, for the approval of the consent agenda. So we'll move on to the approval of expenses. Board of Commissioners, tab 31 through 33, we have noted for the approval of expenses. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Okay, do we have a second? Second. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes. Okay, Board of Commissioners, we have a 3-0, then 1 abstain. So we have a 3, and that means the motion carries for the approval of the expenses. All right, Board of Commissioners, we're going to move right on into our announcements tonight. And certainly I want to circle back and congratulate our elected, new elected officials here in Douglas County and our re-elected officials. Congratulations, Commissioner Henry Mitchell III, on your re-election for District 1, and congratulations to Commissioner Terenia Carthen on her re-election for District 3, and also congratulations to our new elected official for District 4, Mr. Mark Alcarez, and he's our commissioner-elect, and certainly would like to extend deepest respect and appreciation for Commissioner Guider's body of work. She has done an extensive, tremendous amount of work since she's been with me and for the last 6 years, right? 6 years. We've done quite a bit. Certainly, I want to just, if you could, our newly elected commissioner, don't want to put you on the spot, would love for you to come up to the podium and just say a few words. That's my way of.
Don't want to put you on the spot.
My fellow commissioners will tell you I'll put you on the spot, so I'm getting you, this is dress rehearsal for you. So there you
Oh,
go.
no, that's okay. All the many years in youth ministry, and you go to another church, there's nothing like a pastor just putting you on the spot in just a moment. So, no, I'm absolutely fine with that. I look forward, I'm very excited, and thank you to all the constituents in District 4 who voted for me. I'm excited to get to work for my constituents and continue the great work that Ann has done for us for many years. And I look forward to working with my new board members. As you and I spoke, you know, yes, the board we're made up of a team. We're serving all of Douglas County. And I hope that we all work together well for not only just each of our own districts, but for our county as a whole. Yes. So I look forward to that.
All
And I
right.
thank you.
All right, well, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Board of Commissioners, let's give. Board of Commissioners, certainly, do you have any announcements that you would like to make on an individual basis? I yield the floor to the commissioners at this time. If you don't want to lead off with your announcements, we have our communications director who could do so. Any announcements, Board? Okay.
I'll allow
Okay.
our Director of Communications to, unveil the collaborative meeting that's forthcoming, but as you go through his list, and I'll just chime in as you kind of go through that whole list, so.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Communications, Rick Martin, Director Rick Martin, you have the floor.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. Again, good evening, Vice Chair, Commissioners, staff. Douglas County's District 3, Commissioner Terenia Carthen, and nonprofit organization Splendors of Africa are looking to donate at least 100 or more turkeys at a community turkey giveaway event that's happening Saturday, November 19th. It's a drive-through event that begins at 10 a.m. right here at the Douglas County Courthouse. Turkeys will be given out on a first-come, first-served basis until gone. District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III has his coffee and conversations. Gathering will be held on Saturday, December 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, right here where I'm standing and where you all are in Citizens Hall. And Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes,
anything
and I
else?
just want to add what the great elegant way of you position that, just to understand that this is my last collaborative town hall meeting, coffee and conversation here in the 2022, right here at Citizens Hall. On this collaborative meeting hosted by myself along with the superintendent of the school board, we've got Dr. North, LaShawn Danley of the city of Douglasville, Sheriff Pounds will be here, making sure that we're all in order, our solicitor, Sonia Compton, And our tax commissioner will be here, also having some great words of wisdom as to the future of Douglas County and all that good stuff. So again, December 3rd, that Saturday from 10 until 12 noon, it's going to be a wealth of information. It'll be that last collaborative town hall coffee and conversation right here in Citizen Hall. So join us, and I'll still provide the coffee. And as always, you provide the conversation with my hosts of guests. So please come and join us. Thank you again.
Eloquently well said. Save the date, Glaucoma Awareness Month, forum presented by Vice Chair and District 2 Commissioner Kelly G. Robinson, is happening on January 19th, 2023, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Learn about his experience and hear from notable experts. Commissioner Robinson, would you like to add any more, sir? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Lithia Springs Senior Center will host a free drive-through food distribution event for residents of Douglas County. The event will be held on Tuesday, November 22nd, starting at 10:30 a.m. The free food distribution is first come, first served, and while supplies last. It's open to all Douglas County residents. The Lithia Springs Senior Center is located at 7301 Groover Lake Road in Lithia Springs. The Woody Fight Senior Center is hosting a shredding event. You're invited to bring your old documents for shredding at the Woody Fight Senior Center at 8750 Doris Road, Douglasville. It's happening on December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Volunteer Douglas and the Douglas Youth Commission will be hosting the annual Give Drive now through December 16th. This is an event we will be collecting blankets, coats, canned goods, and other items to distribute to those in need. Give Center drop-off locations can be found on the government website, celebratedouglascounty.com. For more information, you're invited to emaillalexander@douglascountyga.gov. The probate court will be open on Saturday, December 3rd. Please check the probate court website for more information, and that is from probate court Judge Christina J. Peterson. The Douglas County Citizens Improvement Survey is continuing. You're invited to please tell us how we can make your experience better in Douglas County. Please look for the sign in your local library, local senior center, Connect Douglas, and the county courthouse. The Douglas County Board of Commissioners is accepting applications to serve on the following boards: Animal Control Advisory Board, Cemetery Preservation Committee, Paratransit Advisory Board, Hospital Authority, and the Travel and Tourism Board. If you are interested in serving on either of these boards, please contact Lisa Watson, our county clerk, at lwatson@douglascountyga.gov. The Douglas County Courthouse and county programs and services will be closed on Thursday and Friday, November 24th and the 25th, in observance of Thanksgiving. Douglas County E911, the Sheriff's Office, and Fire and EMS will be open, as always, to protect and serve the residents of Douglas County. Last but not least, December 6th is the runoff election, the date of the runoff election. Absentee by application deadline is November 28th. Advanced voting dates is from November 22nd and the 23rd through the 28th, from the 28th to December 2nd. And I'll repeat because of the Thanksgiving holiday. November 22nd and 23rd, then from 28th to December 2nd are the advanced voting dates. Election date is December 6th. Advanced voting locations are the courthouse, Old Courthouse, Lithia Springs Senior Center, Woody Fight Senior Center, Boundary Waters Aquatic Center, Derelict Park, and Dog River Library. Times for advanced voting is from 8:30 to 6 p.m. Again, all of this information is on the government's website, celebratedouglascounty.com. That completes this evening's announcements. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so
Madam
much, Communications Director Rick Martin. Commissioner Mitchell, Commissioner Vice Chairman asked first.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure,
if you don't
that's
mind.
fine. I'll yield.
Vice Chairman, you have the floor.
No, Madam Chair, thank you very much. Thank you, Director Martin. Just one thing as a note that didn't get in is District 2's State of the District. Mark that date, December 15th, 2022. It's going to be a turn on the mic moment. And just for citizens of District 2, which is always important, who put me in office, to hear from you directly where you'd like me to take and cast my votes going into the new year, and also to share what's going on. So I wanted to mark that date, that again, I do it annually, mark that date. The last thing I need to highlight also is mark the date. The following week, after the glaucoma awareness, is the 7th annual Doing Business with Douglas. This is when I could not let it not be save the date. Please add this. We got this major budget we're about to set in the last 2 meetings of the year. We got a SPLOS that we're going to have to set. And to the new freshman commissioner from the 4th District elect, Mr. Alcaraz, you're going to be part of that. I'll give you my assurance I won't decide this in this year without you being in the room. That's important. You don't want your hand being dealt. But if you got that going, you got 2 SPLOS going at the same time. This Doing Business with Douglas is very important to have it hosted by none other than Mr. David Good and our own Director of Procurement, Latanya Amons. As you guys know, I'm stepping back, but it's time for others to step forward. And so I'm looking forward to them. I'm just going to be the sponsor up, but they're going to carry forward. But please mark those dates, December 15, District 2, and also on January the 26th, the following week of glaucoma 2023 will be 2 events back to back. Thank you, Madam Chair. Mark those dates. Lisa, can you make sure we get those dates on the officially into the record, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Vice Chairman. Commissioner Mitchell, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We missed one big item that's forthcoming. Come on down, Dr. Consuela Gilquist. This item I think we inadvertently missed, but it's probably one of the biggest things that's going to be happening in Douglas County somewhere in December at Boundary Waters. If you would share, Dr. Gilchrist.
Yes, we are excited about this event. It's our first annual Reindeer Rally Pickleball Tournament. And it is, will be held on December the 8th and 9th. Douglas County Senior Services and Douglas County Parks and Rec have joined together to bring this event to Douglas County. We know that we have some huge pickleball players and pickleball fans in Douglas County, and so the fee is $35 per player. And the events will start each day at 8 a.m. and will go through 6 p.m. each day. And we are working with the Pickleball Association and the Senior Pickleball Association. So Commissioner Mitchell, you meet that age bracket, so since you call me up here, we will get you registered, yes, and, we're really excited about this, and
Yes.
so if we have any citizens out there who enjoy the sport of pickleball, which is actually taking over the world, please feel free to give us a call at 770-920-7575 for more information, or you can register at pickleballbracket.com.
And give us that date once again.
December 8th and December 9th. That's a Thursday and Friday.
Wow. And somebody going to walk home with the whole trophy of pickleball tour tournament.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So
Well, I just
we're
didn't want that to go unnoticed. So thank you again. And I know you don't like to come before us and the citizens of Douglas County, but thank you and a job well done. And we're going to note that. And Rick, I just want to make sure that we're definitely promoting it, that we're making sure that the word is out. It should be a lot of Douglas Countyans and outside Countyans coming in to be a part of this pickleball tournament. Again, I probably will be there, but not, in action. Be there as a
He's too old.
spectator. But no,
Yes.
thank you. As a spectator, so.
I also have one other very important announcement,
Sure.
if I may.
Yes.
On November the 18th, I believe that's this Thursday, Senior Services we've partnered with CORE, and we're offering the new COVID bivalent vaccine. We're also offering $100 gift cards courtesy of CORE. So if you need or want the new bivalent vaccine, I think I'm saying that correctly.
You are.
Please give us a call at 770-489-3100. Also, if you need any of the other vaccines, those will be offered as well.
Thank you. And
You're
again,
welcome.
thank you
Thank you.
again. Job well done. Make sure you note that, Lisa, those dates. And again, thank you again
right.
for the announcements and the COVID drive. Keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I yield.
Okay, thank you so
Madam
much,
Chair.
Commissioner Mitchell. Commissioner Guider, you have the floor.
I just want to say, when I brought up that we should have pickleball in Douglas County, everybody looked at me and thought I was absolutely crazy. I happened to play golf with somebody from Cobb County that introduced me to it, and I brought it up, and everybody just thought I was crazy, and now look how big it is. And it keeps, no matter how old you are, you can move on a half court like that, so.
Notice how young
I'm
you are.
glad to see it snowball like this, but it was so funny. If you had heard the comments, everybody said, well, I've never heard of pickleball.
Now they love it.
And now
It's
I'm
contagious.
glad to see it's just boomerang around the county, so thank you. Are you back?
Thank you so much, Commissioner Guider. Board, as a point of privilege, wanted to see if I could bring Mr. Gary Dukes up. We have some exciting things happening in Parks and Recreation coming up, and we need that I believe that's worth announcing. And I know Commissioner Mitchell is the chairman of Parks and Recreation, so I'm quite sure you would like to hear those announcements, Commissioner.
Good evening.
Good evening, Director Dukes.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. We've got a Christmas tree I don't know what you call it, extravaganza, I
Yeah,
guess,
extravaganza.
starting Friday down at Boundary Waters Park. We're going to have a tree lighting at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6-ish. We'll have all sorts of vendors. I think they have 50-something vendors already scheduled to be there. We'll have food trucks. We've had both the buildings lit in Christmas lights and had like I said, the big tree out front. They're going to be setting up an ice skating rink that people can actually come out and ice skate during, I don't have those dates right in front of me, but it's going to be coming up very quickly. They'll have Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus there. They'll have a train ride through the park. Let's see, what else? Oh, reindeer. We'll have live reindeer there for the children. So it's going to be a complete experience for the kids and the adults. And, of course, hot chocolate and all the good things that go with it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Director Dukes.
You're welcome.
I feel the holiday spirit in the air in Douglas County, so we have some exciting times coming forth, so we're excited about the holiday season. Board of Commissioners, thank you so much for your time and talent tonight. We've had a very productive meeting, and if there's nothing else to come before this body, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.